Today in Los Angeles, a severe wildfire is raging on Santa Rosa Island, threatening rare wildlife and cultural sites.
Hi, I'm Garrett.
And I'm Leah. Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day, with Leah and Garrett reporting from Los Angeles. First up, a historic wildfire on Santa Rosa Island threatens rare wildlife and cultural heritage.
Let me paint the picture for you. Santa Rosa Island, which is part of Channel Islands National Park off the Santa Barbara coast, is seeing the largest fire in its modern record. Officials say it started May 15th when a shipwrecked mariner fired an emergency flare. That accidental spark has now burned nearly a fifth of the island. Firefighters are trying to thread the needle here, using existing roads and ridgelines as fire breaks. A fire break is basically a gap in fuel that slows or stops flames. They're doing that to avoid bulldozing sensitive ground.
This one really resonates with me. The island is home to 6 endemic plant species, meaning they grow nowhere else, plus the Torrey pine, the rarest pine species in North America. It also holds deep cultural history. The oldest definitively dated human remains found in North America were discovered there. So yeah, protecting that landscape is a big deal. Why use natural barriers instead of bringing in heavy equipment everywhere?
Great question. Heavy machinery can rip up fragile soils and disturb habitats, which can take decades to bounce back. Roads and rocky ridges are already there, so they limit extra damage while still boxing in the fire. Winds have been gusty, which makes this tougher. Historic structures have already been lost, and crews are hustling to keep the flames away from the most sensitive areas. Stay curious. These kinds of choices matter for how the island recovers. All right, let's roll on. Next up, Simi Valley brush fire forces mass evacuations as wind-driven flames destroy homes.
The Sandy fire broke out before 11 a.m. Monday in Simi Valley, and by afternoon covered about 720 acres. Officials ordered evacuations affecting more than 28,600 residents, with another 8,200 under evacuation warnings. At least one home and another structure were destroyed. More than 500 firefighters are on it, battling with zero containment early on. The big driver here is Santa Ana winds, which are those dry, downslope gusts that blow from inland toward the coast. Gusts up to 40 miles an hour push the fire fast. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum, which sits on a hilltop in Simi Valley, closed as a precaution. It wasn't under evacuation orders, but crews are watching that corridor closely, especially toward Westlake Village. Officials expected winds to ease around late afternoon, which can help aircraft and ground crews make a stand.
Wind is the wild card, right? You get embers lofting over rooftops, spot fires pop up blocks ahead. Community resilience really shows on days like this. People packing go bags, checking on neighbors, and clearing brush. If you live near that area, keep it chill, but stay ready. When you get an order to go, you go. That's a solid point for safety.
Okay, let's move on. On a much more serious note, San Diego Islamic Center shooting leaves 5 dead, including teen gunmen, with a hate motive under investigation.
This was in San Diego at the Islamic Center of San Diego, which includes a K-12 school. Police say 2 suspects, ages 17 and 19, opened fire. Officers arrived within 4 minutes of the first 911 call. 3 adults, including a security guard, were killed. The 2 suspects were later found dead from apparent self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Investigators found anti-Islamic writings in the suspect's vehicle and a suicide note referencing racial pride. Because of that, it's being investigated as a potential hate crime. A hate crime is when someone targets victims based on identity like religion or race. This happened during school hours. Thankfully, no children were hurt. The timing overlaps with Dhul al-Hijjah, the 12th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, which is significant for many Muslims. The motive isn't officially determined yet. That's still being worked. Community leaders are coordinating on security and support while investigators piece together the why.
That one gave me chills. Real talk. The community healing piece matters. For anyone new to this topic, enhanced security can mean simple, concrete steps, entry protocols, trained volunteers, and close coordination with local police. but also outreach, listening sessions, mental health resources, and interfaith support. What's the buzz now is making sure families and kids feel safe going back to class while the facts get sorted. We can't just leave it at that, can we? All right, on to the next. Shifting to voter integrity concerns, voter fraud allegations surface as Skid Row residents were paid to register and sign ballot initiatives. Federal charges name Brenda Lee Brown Armstrong of Marina del Rey. Prosecutors say she paid people living on Skid Row to register to vote and sign ballot initiative petitions starting in 2025. Skid Row, if you're new to LA, is a downtown neighborhood with one of the largest concentrations of unhoused residents in the country. Armstrong, a longtime signature gatherer, admitted to offering small payments or goods in exchange for signatures. There's also an allegation she sometimes used her former home address when helping people register. The case spun up after a Project Veritas video. That's a conservative activist group known for undercover recordings. Meanwhile, the federal government is pushing for an audit of California's voter rolls. An audit is basically a systematic review to verify records. A judge previously dismissed an audit demand as unprecedented, and legal back and forth continues. Why is paying for registrations or signatures illegal when it sounds like just a transaction?
It comes down to protecting the integrity of the process. When money changes hands for civic actions, you risk coercion or misrepresentation. Voter registration and ballot measures are supposed to reflect free choice. If the allegations are proven, it undermines confidence in the system. And the audit push is controversial because, it's a sweeping demand with big legal and logistical implications. That's something to chew on, huh? Last up, controversial O.J. Simpson case detective Mark Foreman passes away at 74. Foreman died May 12th in Kootenai County, Idaho. He was a former LAPD detective, best known for his role in the O.J. Simpson murder case from the mid-1990s. For quick context, O.J. Simpson was a former NFL star tried in the 1994 killings of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. He was acquitted in criminal court. Foreman's credibility became a lightning rod in the trial. He later pleaded no contest to perjury related to his past use of racist language. After leaving policing, he became a conservative commentator and true crime author.
His legacy is complicated. Allegations that he planted evidence were never proven, but the accusations and his perjury plea had a massive impact on public trust, especially around race and policing in Los Angeles. It shaped how a lot of Angelenos, and frankly the country, looked at the LAPD for years. That's close to the heart of it. One person's credibility can recalibrate the whole narrative of a trial and the community's faith in institutions. That's the takeaway for this one.
That's all for today's news from Los Angeles. Thanks for joining us on Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett. Have a great day and tune in tomorrow for more updates.